I'm Mayor Bill McLeod. Welcome to the Heart of Hoffman Estates, a monthly program designed to highlight local business, nonprofit organizations, and people who help to make our community a better place to live. Did you know September is Hunger Action Month? And although Hoffman Estates is a thriving community in many ways, there are also children and families who face hunger on a regular basis. Recently, I had the chance to meet with representatives from some local food pantries to learn about their services and how, as residents, we can help our neighbors in need. In addition to learning about the impacts of hunger in our community, I also had the opportunity to meet with local students from Hoffman Estates, Schaumburg, and Palatine who have delved into the complex issue of diabetes. I think you'll find their work with the Stop Diabetes movement, a global initiative to raise awareness about diabetes and funding for diabetes research, interesting and informative. Enjoy the show. We're at the Astor Street Community Center. You want to tell us a little bit about it, Brian?
Sure. The Astor Avenue Community Center is where we house our food pantry and our welfare services division for the township. And each month about just under 750 visits are made to this pantry. And that spikes up around the holiday season, going over 1,000. And during the recession, of course, we were much busier.
Hi, the five of us took part in a diabetes research internship over the summer called Get Inspired Chicago, Stop Diabetes Movement. SDM is a program that originated in India, and its goal was to reduce the rate of diabetes in India because it was soon projected to become the global capital for diabetes. We wanted to stop this projection from actually happening, so this program's mission is to look at diabetes through holistic approaches, specifically yoga, and we also want to reduce the conditions of diabetes from being severe to being normal. Get Inspired Chicago Stop Diabetes Movement is sponsored by an organization called SEWA International. In Sanskrit, SEWA means service beyond self, and this is a Hindu faith-based humanitarian nonprofit service organization. It focuses on family services, child, tribal, and refugee welfare, women empowerment, health, and education. Over the past 8 weeks, we have accomplished a lot. One of the most important things we had to do first and foremost was understand exactly what diabetes is. We researched conventional treatments as well as unconventional and holistic treatments. We also wanted to understand why we're doing what we're doing. So we looked into its roots. So we researched SEWA International and a yoga research university in India called Vyasa, which was also partnered with SDM. We also created marketing material to promote SDM around our area and spread the message across our community through visiting mayors, other health professionals, communicating with other ordinary citizens, etc. And we ultimately, at the end, identified a target audience and presented our findings after compiling all of our data. And our goal was to inspire the audience to take this epidemic more seriously and change their lifestyles and adjust in order to reduce their risks of developing diabetes. We had a final group presentation at the very end in which we presented to SDM and SEWA International so they could see what we have accomplished over the past 8 weeks as well.
Over the course of the past 8 weeks, we put out a survey to the public, and we've met with an endocrinologist and nutritionalist. They help us learn more about prevention methods for diabetes. Along with that, we met with a yoga teacher who helped us learn different yoga poses to help us secrete more insulin in our pancreas. We also met with the mayor to share our findings of diabetes prevention and spread awareness. Along with that, we looked at different aspects of diabetes, such as social, economic, and medical.
So in the United States, the cost of diabetes has tripled over the past few years, and the number of patients has doubled. And while we've made scientific breakthroughs over these years, we still haven't found a cure for this, and it's actually increasing at an alarming rate, which is why we sought after holistic methods.
What is diabetes? Diabetes is a disease that affects over 29 million Americans and over 380 million people globally. There are two types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2. In type 1, our bodies cannot produce enough insulin to support our organs and body systems. In type 2, our body can produce this insulin, but can't use it effectively to support our bodies.
So some symptoms of diabetes include frequent urination, dry and itchy skin, and fatigue. However, some people don't experience these symptoms, and the only way to know for sure if you have diabetes is to take a blood sugar test. So the exact cause of type 1 diabetes is unknown, but it is when there is no insulin or little insulin. And people are genetically predisposed to diabetes, and it occurs most commonly in infants. Type 2 diabetes can be caused by a variety of factors, such as stress, lack of physical exercise, and lack of a proper diet.
So now that we have explored the medical lens for diabetes, we decided to then explore the holistic lenses for diabetes. There are many natural alternative treatments, which include yoga and meditation, Ayurveda, homeopathy, other spiritual methods, and massages. One of the most effective methods among these is yoga. Regular yoga practice helps reduce the level of sugar in the blood, along with lowering blood pressure, regulating weight, triggering insulin action, reducing symptoms, and overall slowing the rate of progression of diabetes. One of the most common causes for diabetes is stress, and yoga is the most effective way of reducing stress. There are various types of yoga that people can perform, but some are more difficult than others due to the different genetics that people have, including weight. And so one kind that everybody can do, regardless of hereditary factors, is pranayama, which is breathing yoga. One of the best types of pranayama is when you take your thumb and you cover your right nostril and you inhale through your left nostril. You then cover your left nostril and exhale through your right nostril. Then you inhale through your right nostril, cover it, exhale through your left nostril. Then you inhale, cover it, exhale through your right nostril, and you keep this going. People who do this every night before going to sleep are more likely to not develop diabetes because this practice produces movement in the body, which then helps secrete insulin from the pancreas.
So food is a very important aspect in both a diabetic's and a pre-diabetic's life. So a diet should consist of nutrient-dense foods. That includes good carbs, such as avoiding sugars and consuming more starches, and consuming good fats, such as unsaturated fats, and avoiding trans fats and saturated fats. And fiber is always a good addition because it helps with digestion. And exercise can have a variety of benefits. Most doctors recommend 30 minutes of exercise for 5 days a week. And this exercise can consist of whatever you like to do, such as riding your bike or taking a swim or even just walking. And that also can raise dopamine levels, and that makes you happier and can reduce risks of diabetes.
So another aspect we looked at for diabetes are social aspects. The first factor of social aspects are race. Some races have a higher likelihood of developing diabetes because of something called a thrifty gene. This thrifty gene has been passed from generation to generation. A thrifty gene is when your body stores fat for potential famines. This means it's harder to get rid of that fat or burn it during exercise or physical activity.
So another major social complication that influences diabetes is one's level of education. Without the proper health education, they're less likely to make the correct food choices and thus have a higher chance of developing the disease. As statistics show, the prevalence rate of diabetes increases drastically as the education rate decreases.
Another factor of social aspects is your age. The older you get, the more likely you are to develop diabetes. This is because as you get older, you lack physical exercises, but your average intake of calories doesn't change, so it's not balanced.
Statistics also show us that gender has a role in diabetes. Men are more likely to contract the disease, however, scientists have still not found a true reason.
So after learning all of this, the next step was to spread awareness across our community and spreading the message to friends, family, and as many people as possible. One of our methods of doing this was visiting mayors. We visited the mayors of Palatine and Hoffman estates, and we presented all of our material to them, and they are a huge influencing factor across these local towns, so they were able to help us with awareness. Another method we decided to use was creating a survey. We used social media as our platform, and we sent this survey to various friends, family, relatives, etc., in order to get their responses. In all, we received over 100 responses, and our questions included ones such as how much do you think you know about diabetes? How much do you think your family knows about diabetes? How difficult do you believe it is to live with the disease? How willing would you be to adjust your lifestyle to prevent this disease? And how often you eat out, exercise, etc. So we wanted to see how aware people already are about diabetes, and through this survey, our goal was to make people even more aware, and we succeeded in that aspect. And we learned a lot about our friends and family and how they feel about this condition through this survey.
On August 14th, we met and collaborated with other SDM and SEWA groups who shared the same goals as us. We shared and compared our progress over the 8 weeks we interned over the summer and learned valuable information. Hopefully this presentation has increased your awareness on diabetes and has inspired you to take action to improve your health and help improve our communities in the long run.
For more information, or if you have any questions, feel free to send an email to sewachicago@sewausa.org. That's SEWACHICAGO @SEWAUSA.org.
SDM out.